Aloha everyone, Scott Sylvan Bell coming to you live from the Las Vegas Strip. It's June 20th, 2014, and one of the things that happens a lot is people will say, I really don't want the objection, I want to think about it. It's the most dreaded objection, because in the mind of the seller is like, there's just so many different things that can happen. So what I did was I made a list on the airplane of things that really cause this I want to think about it, okay? So the first one is something you probably wouldn't think about, but it's too much rapport. You hit friend zone. And what happens is, if you're a friend, you're not an expert. And sometimes people would argue and say, hey, that's not true. But think about it. You need to be that expert and not the friend. You hit friend zone, they're like, oh, you should come over. And for them, it's really easy to say, hey, do I really have to do this right now? And then they start playing the relationship that you've built against you. So the first thing is friend zone. The second thing is talking too much about yourself. And this really does happen a lot, especially if you're in the middle of a sales cycle where you're not selling very much. It's really common for a salesperson to really talk about themselves and say, me, I do this, I do this, I do this. And what that does is, the buyer goes, hey, wait a minute, what about me? You're here to take care of me, aren't you, right? And so it creates a challenge for you as a salesperson. The third thing is, you didn't find the pain. You didn't really find that thing that made them go, you know what, I really need to take care of this now. I have an issue, it really needs to be dealt with. And you didn't take that pain and talk to them about it. You didn't ask them questions about it. The fourth thing is, and this does happen, and it could be your fault as a salesperson, it was a bad presentation. You didn't practice it, it sucked, and then the person was like, you know what, this really didn't make any sense to me. Yeah, I'm not really that much into it. The fifth one is, you didn't allow negotiations. Now, people always want to feel like they were able to get a good deal, and people always like to talk about the good deal that they got, especially if it's like business to consumer. Sometimes business to business is the same exact way. People want to feel like they got the edge. Now, a lot of retail outlets have tried this process where they always have everything on sale and there's no sales because everything's rock bottom prices, and they found that people don't really buy that way. They like to know that they're getting something. They feel like a hunter at that point, okay? There was a hidden objection. It could have been a polite way for them to say no. And the hidden objection could be that, they have somebody else that they're doing business with, and, they're just checking the waters to make sure that they're getting a good deal from that person, from that company. There are some people, and this is the sixth one, or seventh, I could be wrong. It's the sixth or seventh one. There are very few people in the society that really do need to think about it. And, there's not very many of them. There are just a few. And my uncle's one of them. He's a really nice guy, and he's just one of those people that no matter what he goes to buy, I don't know what he does. He goes and he thinks about it, and then he comes back and he buys it. And then, one of the last things is, if it's a friend, family, or coworker, one of the problems is people will shortcut the sales cycle because they're like, oh, you're a friend, or oh, you're family, and I don't really have to give you a whole presentation. I don't have to explain everything to you. And then that person's like, well, wait a minute, I know you already. And, there might not be a reason for us to move forward. So go ahead, take a listen, go through them again. It's not complete. There's probably still a couple more, and that's okay. But here's the big bulk and majority of them that create the issues for salespeople out in the field. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story. And to the right or to the left, there's a subscribe button. You can hit that also. And then, send it out to all your friends via social media. That would be cool, too. You got, like, Facebook, StumbleUpon, Twitter, Google+. I always forget about that one. Scott Sylvan Bell. Only Scott Bell. Silver in the middle. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.